Assalamu alaikum i dobro pozdravit na moj kanal. My legal birth name is Language Simp, and I am a hyper-polyglot GigaChad alpha male who is very attractive to every woman and man on the planet. Today, I will be discussing the top 10 most important languages of the future. I'll be giving you my predictions for which languages will become the most influential on the global scale in the coming 100 years or so. I made a YouTube short about this a month ago, but so much has changed in the course of a month that I needed to make an updated list for you guys. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like on the video. Without further ado, let's begin. Number 10, Indonesian. Indonesia is the fourth most populated country in the world after only China, India, and the United States. The number of speakers is quickly multiplying as Indonesian mothers are pooping out kids very fast, much faster than in the other most populated countries. Indonesian is an easy language written in the American alphabet with very simple grammar and pronunciation, making it the obvious choice for a unifying Asian language. The only reason Indonesian is so low on this list is because global warming will probably cause this country to be underwater soon. But even if they can prevent that and or invade Australia, Indonesian will surely become a dominant language in the region. It's probably the easiest Asian language to learn, which is very enticing for Americans who want to learn a language to prove that they're not racist. Number 9, Turkmen. Turkmen is a Turkic language spoken by about 5 million people, mainly in the Central Asian country of Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan is extremely overpowered, as the country spawned on land with an abundance of resources, mainly natural gas. Unfortunately, this country sucks at using their resources to gain wealth and influence in the world, as the nation was controlled by a brutal dictatorship under Gurgabanu Malikiguwich Burma Dimmadao from 2006 to 2022. The dictator kept the country very isolated and forgotten about, which is why no one studies the Turkmen language today. However, last March, a new president was elected who could turn the country around and therefore show off the Turkmen language to the world. The new president is the son of the last dictator, so don't hold your breath, but if this country can figure out how to use their resources wisely, Turkmen could become a global language in the next few decades. In 2050, you might not be able to find a job without speaking fluent Turkmen. Number 8, Brazilian Portuguese. I believe that Brazilian-flavored Portuguese will become a major world language in the near future. I don't support violence, but with Lula in power again, Brazil has the potential to take over all of Latin America and exert massive influence globally during and after World War III. They could start by taking over these countries, because would France really care enough to send troops to French Guiana? And the Brazilians could recruit their linguistic brothers in Angola and Mozambique to assist them, and I'd be scared of the Mozambicans because, just look at their flag. Portugal obviously wouldn't be any help, but honestly, if Brazil just sent like 50 dudes from the favela into all of the countries in South America, everyone could easily be forced to speak Portuguese. Spanish would be made illegal. The only real resistance would be the Germans hiding in Argentina, but there's no problem since o Lula é gostoso e forte. Number 7, Toki pona. I am generally not a fan of constructed languages, but Toki pona is a really unique conlang created by this GigaChadette in 2001. It's supposed to be the easiest language to learn, and after 2 days of studying it myself, I can say it's definitely the simplest language I've ever studied. The grammar is insanely easy, and it only has around 140 words, one of which is a word for raccoon. My Discord server is hosting a 30-day Toki pona challenge where we all hope to get fluent quickly, and I think that I'll speak it comfortably in probably a week or two. Toki pona has some serious potential to become the global world language because it's so fun and easy to learn for people from any background. Esperanto tried to be the global lingua franca, but Esperanto is racist and dog water. As the monolingual betas of the world begin to realize how important language learning is, Toki pona will become an excellent gateway drug for aspiring polyglots because a monolingual beta could become bilingual in no time if they just learn Toki pona. Number 6, Japanese. I want to preface this by saying that I will never learn Japanese. I am not a weeb and I don't watch anime. However, let's be honest, 2D waifus and robots are the future, and 2D waifus are pretty irresistible. Japan is light years ahead of us, and their AI technology is rapidly advancing. In the event of World War III, the Japanese government will probably create robots with tentacles that will conquer the world and force us to all learn the anime language. The future is grim, but we will fight back. But unfortunately, I wouldn't be surprised if my future grandkids are forced to learn Japanese starting as early as in kindergarten. Number 5, Albanian. I have literally no idea what goes on in Albania, which is kinda sus. I know a lot about the world, so why do I know nothing about Albania? I suspect that the Albanians might be plotting something big, so I wouldn't be surprised if Albania invaded Canada or South Korea in the coming years. But regardless of whatever the Albanians are planning, the truth is that Albanian is simply the most beautiful sounding language on the planet. It's a language isolate, which means that it's not similar to any other Indo-European language. I think that there's a strong chance that before the year 2100, all art, including movies, music, and TV shows, will be exclusively in Albanian, even in the United States. Number 4, Hebrew. Just kidding. Farsi. Now that the Americans are out of the Middle East, it's time for a new country to exert dominance in the region. I think that Iran is on the trajectory to transform itself into a very peaceful global superpower in the next few decades. The country is also very beautiful, and I firmly believe that Iran will soon become the Florida of the Middle East. That's to say, people will flock there for vacation. With so many people traveling to Disney World, I mean Tehran, people from all around the world will need to learn Farsi, making the language much more globally important. It's a super beautiful and unique language that's written in the Chadian Arabic script, but it's technically an Indo-European language, which means that it's easier for Westerners to learn, which increases its chances of becoming the global language one day. Number 3, Chadian Arabic. I'm not very superstitious, but all of the stars are aligned with this one. The name of the country where Chadian Arabic is spoken is Chad. Its name is literally Chad, and the country even looks like a Giga Chad. They even speak a dialect of one of the most, if not the most, Chad languages in the world, Arabic. Unfortunately, Chad is one of the poorest countries in the world, but I blame that on its geography. They're stuck mostly in the desert, and they're boxed like a fish with no access to the ocean. So if in the future Chad can cut itself out of Africa and push itself to one of these ideal locations, I believe that the people of Chad could have a front row seat on the global stage, which will cause the number of Chadian Arabic speakers to skyrocket. If Chad was just off the east coast of the United States, Americans would probably choose to learn Chadian Arabic over Spanish. Number 2, North Korean Korean. You know how people play hard to get in the dating scene? You know how you get more attracted to someone the less they're interested in you? Well, that's kind of what North Korea's been doing to us for the past few decades. Everyone with a brain cell wants to travel to North Korea, but the government is so toxic and cringe that we can't travel there, which makes us want to go there even more. If we could just convince Lil Kimmy of how cool Roblox is and explain to him how dope it would be if all of his people had enough food to eat, maybe North Korea could open its borders in the near future. Everyone and their mother would be planning trips to Pyongyang, and North Korean textbooks would fly off the shelf at Walmart faster than the toilet paper during coronavirus. Everybody who's anybody would learn to be at least conversational in North Korean, which means that it could overtake American as the language of business and diplomacy in the 21st century. And the number 1 most important language in the future is Polish. Enough is enough. Poland has been the punching bag of Europe for far too long now, and I'm looking at you guys, Russia and Germany. It's about time Poland becomes the default spawn language of every European. If the Poles can rally their femboys deep in loads and launch an offensive on the eastern and western fronts, I predict that Europe will look like this in 2050. Therefore, every European will learn Polish as a second language, which means that it will become the global language of trade, travel, and diplomacy. By 2070, I believe that Poland may continue their expansion, and they'll most likely occupy all of the countries shown on this map. Polish is also very beautiful and has simple phonology, so I could see it naturally expanding even in a non-violent future. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Join my Discord, the link's in the description. You can come learn Toki pona with us and subscribe to my Patreon where I teach you how to learn a language.